Hello,
Good morning.
can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hang on, I'm just turning you up on my end. Say something interesting.
Oh, well, there's
That'll do. Yeah, that's it. We're all functioning. We're all got our ears working. That's it. Here we are. Happiness is easy once again with me, Dominic Nelson Ashley, and the one and only, the legendary, yes, you have to own that title, the legendary Nicola Morgan. That's right. Here we are once again. Mhm.
Here we are on this lovely morning. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's not lovely where I am. It's cold. It's freezing.
Yeah, yeah, it's not that brilliant here, but it's still lovely. We're here, we're alive, we're breathing.
We're
These are good
alive. We're
things.
breathing.
So I've set the bar low. How are you this week?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. Well, I could complain, but I won't. Because what's the point of that? You set yourself in a negative spiral. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's a couple of things I've been thinking about.
Yeah, go.
Because I went to the doctors. Uh, as I might have mentioned before, I have eye issues. I've had them for like a long time. So I went there, and I went for my annual checkup. Basically, this is the most stressful part of my year, going for this eye checkup, because they poke, they prod, they did all that kind of business. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to do it. You have to
Yeah,
do it. And like
horrible.
they have this um, electronic. They started putting this electronic check-in system, right, which is uh, gray text on a yellow background. Come on, man. Come on. Who are you trying to wind me up? So I told him, hey, this does not work for me. Anybody with a slight visual impairment, this is not working. And they're going like, well, it was some boffin somewhere, and it's like in all the places. But anyway, I digress. What I'm getting to is that my since the last time I had them checked, my vision has improved and my eye pressure has gone down dramatically. My wife was going like, "Hey, how'd you do that? What's your secret? What's your secret?" And I was trying to tell her like all these techniques that I use, and she's just going like, "It's because you're married to me, isn't it?" She's going like she's the reason why my eye pressures and why my eyesight's got better, and and yeah, and my eye pressures have gone down. And she's trying to claim full responsibility. She's trying to claim full responsibility. That's the only bit she was going like I was giving her all these techniques that I've been using, going like, yeah, it's like 1% of this, you get your 1% gains here, and da 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 da, and you feel control of this, and da 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 da. He was just going. Then she goes like, now the fact that I've been married to her, been with her for 30 years, right? Maybe she's a contributor to the hassles I've had in the first place. Maybe, but she don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it. I can't drop that into the mix. I can't drop it in.
No, you wouldn't. You would be unwise to do that. But that's essentially very good news about your eyes, isn't it?
Superb news. Superb news. Because, as you get older, your eyesight's supposed to go like down. But, but as I was trying to explain to my missus is that, okay, there's a ceiling to, the maximum you can be, and at this particular moment in time in anything, and the minimum you could be at this particular moment in time, and where you are in that gap, you know, where are you actually in that potential gap at this particular moment in time? You might not know what your particular ceiling is in any particular area at that particular moment in time. So, just because your fitness is, say the arbitrary scale, the arbitrary scale of like, whatever. Today we will call it knee slides. Yeah, how many can you do in 10 minutes or whatever? So, where you could do 100, your maximum you could possibly do is 100. potentially minimum you could do is 10 potentially, but at this particular moment you're going to do 12. But your capacity is higher. But how do you get there? You've got to do these little things that stretches or whatever. Da, 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 that's just an example. But I was all it's all about the little gains. It's all about the little gains. There is no one thing that is going to be the
That's
magic
right.
bullet.
That's so true. It's incremental change, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
little bits at a time. And I think it's one of the false myths that we get sold. There's packages all the time that you can buy to change everything within a certain time limit.
Yeah.
And most stuff doesn't work like that. And someone gave me an analogy of like vacuuming, that you don't just vacuum once and then you never have to vacuum again. You have to do it all the time. Well, it doesn't last. You have to keep doing it. And that's what all these things that are good for us are like. If you want your house to be clean, and you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And there's no point in being frustrated. I did this before. Yeah, and it still needs doing again. Um,
Yeah.
and that's like all the good things that we have to do to take care of ourselves, isn't it? You don't do them once.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
buy some magic package and
But that's especially true in the health food shops in the health food industry. It's always like, okay, this we have a magic tablet. This me and my wife, I say to my wife, like, okay, because I remember when goji berries were the new thing.
yeah.
Like so and there's always a new thing. It's like it's a Peruvian beetroot. It's like it's the new goji berries. It says this year, this month. You've never heard of this thing before, but it's been grown for like 10,000 years, and it's only harvested by pygmies in at night on one day a year. And
Well, while they're hopping backwards.
yeah, 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 yeah. And that's why it's £1,000 a kilo. But for an introductory price of 10.99 on a subscription model, you can have some.
Did you? Did,
oh,
did you get the goji berries?
not this time. I remember when kombucha was a new thing. I remember when kombucha was the new thing.
Oh yeah, my daughter's like that.
Yeah. So yeah, and like uh, I think my wife was an early adopter of kombucha, and she was going like, "I'm not getting any results from this." And yeah, we gave it to a friend of mine who's who was a head teacher at the time. She's going, "Wow, this stuff's fantastic! I'm getting a real rush off this." And
Wow.
she's, oh. But yeah, but it's usually small things, incremental things here and there over a long period of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Work.
absolutely. Absolutely. And don't you think what sort of things have you been doing then to look after your eyes?
I have been doing. Um, I have been taking control of things that I can control, and things that I can't control, I've been jettisoning them or giving them a time frame. Right? Okay. So for instance, things that I've gone like, okay, this thing takes a lot of my energy, right? I will give it this much time, and then after this date, and I tell people as well, right, this date after here, I'm not involved. And also the power of saying no. There's some things recently that have come my way, and that normally I would have gone like, yeah, I'm doing that. And I know it's been detrimental to me in the past, and this time I've actually gone like, no. And even though I felt that emotional pull, like, I've been doing this thing for years, that emotional, even talking about it, I could feel it in my throat. And, I just like, no, not doing it. Um, you know, Dave said I couldn't do it. And then the text I got back, don't worry, no worries. And I'm going like, I built this thing up in my head so much. So sometimes you just got to like, right, okay, um, there's certain things you can control, and the things you can't control. you can go like, right, the way of actually controlling it is like, okay, I can't control this, but it's only going to be for a particular period of time. I can only give to it for a particular period of time. Then after that time, I actually can't because it is detrimental to me.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, whatever you're doing to look after yourself seems to be working, so that's fantastic news.
Big wins.
Yeah. And you said there were a couple of things that you've been thinking about this week. So that was one of them. What was the other one?
I've been thinking about death, death and coping with grief, and,
Yeah,
and different approaches to it. How do you move forward? Um, and two particular things have struck me recently about this. Because, at the end of the day, uh, death is one of those things. It happens. It's an inevitability, isn't it? So you've got to have your strategies of coping with it. So two things I've looked at. There is one was sparked by you saying like, okay, one of your coping strategies is laughter. And I saw this comedy special by a woman called Sarah Silverman.
I
It's
know
on.
her. Yeah, I don't know her personally, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
her.
But and she's just going like she said, I've got a new comedy special, and then she starts talking, and then in the trailer she goes like she does a few, of her usual kind of like ribald jokes, a bit smutty, as you would say in the old days. And then she goes like, "Oh, by the way, my dad died, and my stepmother died within 9 days of each other. And on the plus side, I have an hour of new material." So I then watched her comedy special, and it was an hour about her talking about her parents
Yeah,
and all the funny things that they did together. Um, and then how as comedy, sometimes it's a case like they've magnified certain things. Now, the thing about this is that at the end of the show, in the final credits, they she showed photographs of her parents and also played recordings, the same recordings that she had mentioned in the special. So I thought that was very interesting. So actually, that grounds the what she told us about beforehand. So it reinforces, oh, it's her truth. Um, so yeah, so that was interesting. So it was like, and she's a very good performer. She says in the special that she's 50 now and she's been performing as stand-up comedy since she was 17. So she's a very slick performer. But my wife said the whole thing was sounded like therapy, like the whole show. So so that was one thing that grabbed me. It's like, okay, that was a particular way of dealing with the loss, her dealing with the loss and how she processed grief. So she processed it in the way that fits her best. Yeah, she's a
yeah,
stand-up comedian, so that's so she actually was true. She was like, okay, I've got an hour of new material out of this. So she she it was therapy for her. She celebrated the life of her parents, and it was her work. It was her job. So she's like, all right, it's a win-win-win, triple
yeah. So
triple score.
she used her strengths and talents to deal with her difficulty, didn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and because stand-up comics are writers essentially. I mean, I don't know how people can't understand comedy when they think that these people just stand up and say it. They
Yeah,
do
yeah,
not just stand up and say it. It's beautifully honed and structured and written,
yeah.
and uh, and if you look at the structure of it, it's absolutely amazing. So that was a real mark of respect from her. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, yeah. It's on Netflix.
Right, I'll look it up because I'm sure I'll enjoy that. She is very, very funny, very talented, and very well rehearsed. So
Yeah,
she
and
is
well
slick.
rehearsed. Yeah. So So I actually think she was like halfway through a comedy tour. Then her parents died, and then she's like, "Oh God!" So she was already in the flow. She was already in the flow of performance, and like, "All right," carried on. And the other angle I was looking at, or was intrigued me, was the band Linkin Park.
All right,
So I don't know if you're aware of this band, but like,
I am.
so yeah, so their lead singer died. And they got a new lead singer. So they've gone through. They're one of a massive, huge band and one of the biggest bands in the world. And so like people felt a real connection to that band, and the way the former lead singer could emote. He connected. The way he sang, people felt it. Um, and then when they stopped, they felt it wasn't right to continue. But then through an organic process, they've managed to come back, record new material, and it's very interesting listening to how they actually went through it. It wasn't actually they had the grieving process, and actually through the grieving process, they lost members and got new members. So but when the and because it was an organic process, it was like okay, like they got a new drummer, for instance, and that happened because like they were getting back to just working on stuff, not with no end goal in sight. But the old drummer, he just felt too connected to the old project. So it wasn't a case of like didn't fell out with them. It's just his heart wasn't in the new
Couldn't do
thing,
it. Yeah.
even though it had a lot of the elements of the old thing. And then there was the aspect of, the former lead singer's son didn't want to hear like the band is back together with a new singer, with a new lead singer who's saying like, okay, who's saying things like, oh, you've disrespected his father's legacy and all that sort of stuff. Um, and I can understand where he's coming from an emotional point of view, but then also got to remember, not only is it a band, it's a business, and it's a group of friends who were doing their who are a unit. And like, units, like anything, like, people move off and people recreate. And it's very interesting that the new person that they've got, she has the same emotional resonance when she sings the old songs. And she speaks about how she was a fan, but she had to go through a process of finding her own meaning to get from the songs to get to be able to tune into that resonance and then be able to perform that. So I found that very interesting. But then the whole process of like, okay, they weren't looking for a new singer, but they were just working and stuff, and they met people, and it didn't kind of work out. And then they met this one particular person, and it was like a snowball effect. Like one person went like, ah, this particular person sounds good, and da da da, and they all came together like, oh right, actually, this thing when we're all together is very much like the thing we had before. And then there's also the aspect like they've got a guitarist, and he was just going like, "Well, I'm still a part of this. I'm enjoying it all, but the thing of going on tour for like 3 years, that's not me. I'm not about that life. It's no good for my mental health. So yeah, I'm still involved. Write the tunes, see you in the studio, design all the lights on the stage show. But when it comes to like going for 3 years around the world, I'm out. I like being at home with my kids, and I like my hearing. So I'm out from that particular point of view. So and so that and so for my I was listening to that game to have such a strong bond with people who and then they understand your new boundaries, which wasn't part of the old boundaries. It's like, oh right, you're in this position now. We've all grown up together, we've evolved together, but in that evolution process, you have changed, but we can accommodate that. So I found that very interesting. Lots of little life lessons can be learned in all these things. So yeah, they've come out and they've got the name of the album is a name taken from the origins of the band, some before they became famous.
Yeah.
So it's you know so and they were if you listen to interviews of them, they go like, okay, yeah, we felt that we had the old energy back. So what have I got from all of these things? It is there is no one way to get to the outcome you're looking for. We all going through there's grief and there's going to be different ways of approaching the problem, but it's all about how do you get to the other side. It could be, and every day is going to be different. It could be, like I said, like Sarah Silverman, it's case like, okay, you just need to laugh, which can be therapy, and you're using your skills that you have to get there. It could be that, okay, you talk to your friends and like, okay, you're in a new position now. You have to set up a different set of boundaries you know, because of the grieving process has changed you somewhat, and you hope that the people around you understand where you are now, and that the grieving has might have fundamentally changed you. The experience might have fundamentally changed you. You could be a very different person at the other side. So, are the relationships that you have strong enough to deal with that?
That's very interesting you say that because one of the conclusions that I've had going through that process myself is right. The outcome that I'm looking for is I am never going to get over this. Because I did think at first, oh, I think maybe you get over it, and then I've thought to myself, no, I will never get over this. What I'm going to have to do is live with it and find a way of living with it.
Yeah, yeah, because
It's not to get over someone or to disrespect them. So that was interesting that the son had that reaction that um, he was upset that they were disrespecting his dad. And I suspect that what he's actually upset about is his dad dying, not how people are carrying on.
mm,
Because I thought I sent Dominic this poem, didn't I, which says this crucial line to me: I must go on living.
mm,
Because the people who are still living are not yet dead. So
mm,
they've got to figure out how to carry on,
mm.
just because they must go on living. And I don't think your goal has to be to get over it. It has to be to live with it. And
Yeah,
what you're going to do to live with that.
yeah, absolutely. Because if you get over it, it's like, oh well, they never matter in the first place? No, they
Yeah,
didn't.
no. So
No,
that's why I
it's
think
like,
it's the wrong goal. It's like, how am I going to live with this?
yeah, there's a hole there, and it's
That's
not
what
a
you,
it's not a case of like, oh, that hole, I'm going to put other things in it, like alcohol or drugs or whatever. It's like, oh no, there's this hole there. It's like, okay, and you take care of it, you protect it, you don't damage it, but you're aware of it, and you carry on because
yeah,
that person, that situation meant something. It wasn't for nothing.
yeah, that's right. So those guys in that band, they've handled it. It sounds like they've handled it really well because they gave it some space and time and thought, how are we going to live with this change? And but carry on living. And their
Mm,
thing is their music, isn't it?
mm,
So they had to work out how to carry on with that. They didn't have to never do it again because they are still living.
mm.
It was presumably wasn't their fault that he died, um, and so they don't have to stop living because they're not dead yet. They will be one day. Um, but so you can kind of understand why the son is misdirecting his anger, can't you?
Yeah,
Because he
because
doesn't want his dad to be dead.
yeah,
Um, and
and it's
and
got to go
so
somewhere.
That's what he's actually upset about. It's not that some people are playing some music.
Mm.
He's upset that his dad's dead. He's misdirecting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difficult process, but it is a process, and
Mm.
it's just learning to live with it, I think.
Hmm.
Um, and parts of that are sad, but it's okay to be sad
Mm.
sometimes, not all the time. If you're sad all the time, that's clinical depression. Go and see your GP. But yeah, yeah. So that's an interesting story. I have to look that one up as well. Is there a documentary about that on Netflix?
There isn't a documentary, but if you just do a search for interviews,
Hmm.
Linkin Park, because they've on a promotional tour because they've had a new album out and then the deluxe album's out and they're on tour. So it's like, okay. And because they were so big, it's like, oh, what's the story? And also they got back together and they kept it secret. Then all of a sudden, like, we got a new album, we planned a load of shows. So yeah,
Because they
so
just go on living. They have to go on living.
they have to go on living.
Yeah, it's not like it, there was that old tradition where when a husband died, they used to throw the wife on the funeral pyre.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that when somebody dies. I have said to my husband that the marriage deal was till death do us part. Okay, once I'm dead, you are allowed a new girlfriend.
But women live longer than men.
I know.
Ah!
if things go according to plan, they do, yes. But that's it. It's very important in grief. Is I think the question to ask yourself is how am I going to go on living? Because that's what I got to do. The dead person would not expect you to die. To give up your life.
Unless you're a pharaoh.
Sorry.
Unless you're a pharaoh. You do the deal when you married me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, so that's the wrong way around, isn't it? Like, you knew the deal when I decided to marry you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So is that what got you thinking about grief then? Because it's it becomes an increasingly big part of life as you get older.
As you get older, it's like, yeah, oh.
I just cringe when one of my parents says, "Oh, do you remember so and so?" Because I know what line is coming.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they died. That is what happens. Their social life, like when we were younger, when we were in our 20s and 30s, it was always weddings, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you get a few more in your 40s while that people are doing the second time round.
Yeah.
And then in your 70s and 80s, it's funerals. It's like, you start comparing catering at the do's and stuff. Got a favorite undertaker and a favorite funeral director and stuff. Oh dear, it's big business.
Absolutely. And I got a friend who's she was a head teacher and now she's a celebrant.
All right.
So, and it seems like a lot of head teachers go into that line of work when they retire. It's like they still want to boss people about.
Yeah, they've done so many assemblies in their life.
Exactly.
They can
It's
get
just
a group of
big
people,
assemblies now.
sit them down, stand behind a lectern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same skill set.
Absolutely. Got to maximize your skill set.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. So what I've been thinking about this week is I've got a lot on because of my book and I'm editing. It is written.
Yes, let's have a little moment there, little dance break, because the book is written.
Thank goodness. But it's now on the edit. So yeah. uh, so it's quite a lot of work going on at the moment. So I'm scheduling like mad.
Excellent. Yeah, you got to keep me updated with all the dates you have booked in
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
promotion.
yeah, yeah. I've got a Kickstarter campaign to run, which I've never done before. So that's quite a big thing, but a good thing to keep learning new stuff.
Yeah, got to keep learning new stuff.
One of my life goals. I still want to be learning new stuff until the day I die.
Mm. Well, there's
Um,
that part of the brain, isn't there, that, actually, I can't remember the exact name of it, but the more you're challenged, the bigger it gets. And then, once you've mastered it or learned it to a certain level, it starts shrinking again. So you have to keep learning new stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this, I can turn around and pull up a book about this now. But
um,
do you know what? You know the one, the part of the brain I mean.
um,
Have you
yeah,
heard this before?
the amygdala,
I can't remember the exact name.
but
Anyway,
it's about the neural pathways, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
It's about building new neural pathways, and the more you build, and there are some things that are particularly good at building them, like music and languages and
Mm,
maths.
mm,
And the more routes you have through in the
mm.
different pathways, um, if some die off, like if you either through aging or through illness or whatever, the more you've got, the brain can find other routes through
Yeah,
because you've built them.
yeah,
So it's like having loads of different routes on a map or something. It's like,
yeah,
oh no, the A413 is closed. It's okay because I can go on the A404
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
take the route across the A4128. And it's like that. So it's okay. There's another route,
Mm.
diversion. So you just need to keep building, keep
Mm-hmm.
neural pathways. That's what we need to do. And I
Absolutely.
have got a book on that. It's about neuroplasticity, but I don't know where it is. I've forgotten, and my pathways have closed. Yeah, yeah. Um, I ought to get a map of the brain on my wall because I'm always forgetting the bits of the brain. I really ought to know them. But yeah, um, there was something that I was thinking about, and it was quite a negative emotion, and I thought, oh dear, um, because I was writing about talking to teenagers,
Mm.
um, and I was advising that um, the wrong thing to do is say stuff to them like, you got to knuckle down, you got to get your nose to the grindstone, you got to do, and what people were doing was associating loads of negative things with learning.
Right, right, okay.
And it's the wrong thing to do. There needs to be loads, it needs to feel good because it's actually a bit of it's an adventure. It
Yeah.
should be associated with joy
Mm,
and discovery and progress.
mm.
But as parents, we're so often, have you done your homework yet?
But then, there's that thing, isn't there? It was like, okay, you're there's stages to go through. It's like, okay, you've gone done this year, you've done these exams, done next year, these exams, next year, these exams. And then and then things are targeted like, okay, you want those instant results. If you don't achieve these particular results, it's quite bad. But then they've shown that the way for the greatest level of success comes from a lot of diversity. So you've tried something and you've done all right at it, then you try something else and you do all right at it. And then, because they find these things about, especially supposedly child prodigies, people who just do like one thing and they become really, really, really good at that one thing. And then later on, we come to the end of that thing and it's not necessarily applicable to something else. Whilst people who've tried lots of different things, they have a more diverse skill set. So there
It's
are,
the same. It's pathways, isn't it?
it is all the pathways.
You
This
got
is
lots of different routes.
absolutely. And we're calling this episode the Pathways or Neuroplasticity episode.
It is about pathways, about flexibility,
Hmm.
emotional agility. But did you find when you were working as a careers advisor that people wanted a, like a route? They wanted this is what you're going to do. This is the route. They wanted a trajectory.
Yeah,
When life doesn't actually work like that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, they people don't like to feel uncomfortable. And especially something as big as, what am I going to do with my life? Especially like, you know, kids are going, what am I going to do with my life? And the parents go, you got to do something. You can't just fall up about. Go see a careers advisor. Hey,
He'll tell you what to do.
yeah. What's the route to doing something that pays me lots of money? Oh, okay. That's always the classic, isn't it? Don't care what he does as long as he's rich.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of young people say that to me.
Yeah.
I sort of think, okay, all right. Really? Yep, yep, that's what I want. That will be everything that I need. Okay, give it a go then. Yeah, yeah. So, but no, that goes back to your point. You have it's better to have lots of options,
Mm.
lots of options, lots of different skills that you can mix and match and stuff,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, and you have to try things, you know, because studies have shown that if you just sit and think about things, you only get so far. But if you actually physically try these different things, you will make much more progress. Because you can go like, right, that works, that doesn't work, that works, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that really didn't work. Oh, never again. That happens great. I'll do some of that.
That's it. And that draws, we always end up drawing everything together because that's comes back to what we were talking about earlier of these small steps of progress.
Yeah.
You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to get immediate results.
Mhm.
You just keep moving forward, keep making progress. And there's joy in that. Um, and it's nice if you can find a way to notice what you've progressed. So that's a bit like what you were saying earlier with your time frames or your limitations or your I'm doing it for this amount and you're kind of you're quite a measury person, aren't you? You like your measurements. You like your
Absolutely. You got to measure stuff. You got to collect the data. If you don't collect the data, it's just otherwise just like, what's the vibe today?
well, it's I really like the data collecting thing because that's the only way you can kind of see progress and then you can celebrate it and you can be pleased and you can
Mm,
think, yeah, that's
mm.
good. Yeah, I was there, now I'm there. Excellent.
Yeah. Then also, if you like, okay, it's dipped again. Oh, why is it dipped? It's like, oh, it's raining outside. There you go. That's why. That's why my knees are playing up. It's the arthritis again. That makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my husband always tells me when it's going to rain because he can feel it in his knee.
Yeah.
What? Okay. uh, what's that about rain and knees?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to ask your husband.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try and find out for next time.
Mm.
Okay, so our lessons from today, our lessons, our preaching, our sermon is make lots of pathways and keep going.
Absolutely.
There is a poem that comes to mind about that. The road less traveled or something. Two paths diverged in a yellow wood. And he has to make the choice. And he thinks to himself, I could come back and choose the other path. And he says, but knowing that when you go down one path, actually, you don't come back. You start taking different paths off that path and stuff. It's a great poem. I'll put it in the notes.
Fantastic.
Okay, right. So let's finish up on an optimistic note with what we're looking forward to in the week ahead, because we've got a bank holiday coming up, haven't we?
Have we?
I think so.
I'll take your word for it. You know what? When you work, when you do your own thing, bank holidays have no meaning.
Well, yeah, but the reason I'm looking forward to the bank holiday is my one of my friends has got a nice apartment in Bath, and she's lending it to me for a few days.
Excellent.
So I'm going away for a few days. And Bath is right near Bristol, which is where my one of my daughters lives. So I get to see my
Fantastic.
daughter, I get to be in Bath, which is quite fancy, going to a show, got lots of nice things to do. What have you got going on?
Writing a book.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I was writing a book. I'm looking at converting. I've been asked by a couple of theatre directors to look at turning my memoir into a stage show. Uh,
Fantastic.
and I'm looking at that. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Brilliant. Well, that's lovely. So you've got lots of creative stuff going
Well,
on.
you've got to have stuff to look forward to. You know,
Yeah.
that's, part of life as well, isn't it? It's like, okay, stuff to do, stuff that stretches you, stuff that challenges you, stuff that gets your, pathways moving.
Yep, that's right.
There we
Treading those
go.
pathways.
There we go. So that's it. We're wrapping this one up today. So it's been happiness is easy. It's been a happy, even though we've talked about death and grief, we still put some happiness in there because that's just how we operate.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's it. Happiness is easy podcast. That's it for today. So it's been Dominic Nelson Ashley and
It's been
Nicola
Nicola
Morgan.
Morgan.
Till next time.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.